Okay, Paul. So I'm taking a look at your roundabout job, and I just had some ideas of some things I just wanted to show you. You have to kind of look at what makes the most sense, for you. But let me just show you a couple things anyway, at least in pieces. So I just created a new drawing with a new OpenRoads 2D seed because it's geometry, and then what I did was I referenced in. I think I referenced in. Yeah, I referenced in your design drawing. So let me just turn that on. So that's that. Um, so let's look at this. You know, and the more that I look at this, I kind of feel like I'll show you how to just bring in some of this information and just create open road geometry. But you might want to be more strategic about it and just start bringing in center lines. And this is to me the challenge of open roads is the rules, the parent-child relationships, the line work or geometry that's going to be based on other geometry. What is the main geometry that you want to control the other geometry? So you know normally I guess you'd be laying out the center lines like these circles here. It's very possible that you're laying out this one primarily, and then this one is offset from that. This one, is offset from that one. This one is offset from that one. Or, it could be that this one is offset from here. This one is offset from here. This to me is the the challenge of deciding what do you want to have as your primary controls. What do you want to have as the parent geometry? I mean, you may have a center line in here that you're using. So to me, that's the bigger picture that I think you have to figure out. But let me, I guess it kind of just talking about things here. I see this here. This looks like a sidewalk, edge here. It could be that this point is a particular station and offset from somewhere along one of these alignments. So you'd lay this out as a station and offset, just with the idea that you could then modify that textual manipulator to be a different station and offset if you want to change this, or it's just that it's parallel. So there's different ways, and I think you played around with this enough to where maybe it's clearer to you of what you feel like the main controls are. Again, let me show you a couple tools in terms of how you could kind of convert this forward. And let me just start with something just like one of these islands here. Let's just do this island. So let's say I'll say this is the back curb, it's curb and gutter. And then this is also level curb and gutter. I don't know, I'll say, just for sake of argument, I'll say this is the back of curb and this is the flow line of the curb. So let's say I want to construct the back of curb and then have the flow line be based off of that. So I'm in a drawing. I just have this referenced. I'm gonna go just as a as one method here. Is I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just select this geometry here, or these graphics. Okay, so I have that selected. I'm going to go ahead and copy it into my active drawing because I don't have anything in my active drawing is empty. So just going to go to copy and just MicroStation. I'm just going to you have graphics. I'm just going to copy graphics in here, and then just going to grab this and I'm going to do DL equals 0. Basically it's the copying it into its exact same location. So I don't know if you know the key in DL equals 0. Honestly, I don't even know what it stands for. It's something I've been using for decades. So DL equals 0, and go ahead and enter. And then that should be placed there. Let me turn this reference off and see if that came in. Okay, so now we got that. I'm going to unselect it. So okay, so I have these graphics in here now. So the next step is to make them OpenRoads geometry. And the way one way that you can do that is under the OpenRoads modeling workflow and geometry tab standards. There's where's it at? Design elements. Create a civil rule feature. So we're going to go ahead and create these as civil elements, civil features. So we'll do that, and I'm going to go ahead and just for feature definition, I'm going to call these. We'll do these back a curb. Okay, and now it's just a matter of selecting those. I don't really care about what the name is right now because these are just going to be the pieces, and then we're going to basically create a complex geometry of this whole thing. That complex geometry is what will be named and have the correct feature definition. So I identify the elements to create a civil element, civil geometry. I'm just going to go ahead and just start picking these. Okay, and then prompts reset to complete when you're done with all those. So right click. Okay, and escape out of that command. So now this is civil geometry. So this is now as if that was created in OpenRoads. Now, the thing about this is the way this is when you're bringing in graphics like this, you know, this piece of geometry isn't ruled necessarily to this tangent and this piece here. So you could take this one step further and go, okay, this is a whatever this rate 91. This is a 91 radius here. You could take it one step further and I'm just going to go ahead and just delete this and go, okay, I want to put I want to rule a 91 radius in here. So I'm going to go to arcs, arc between elements, and it's just a simple arc. So it's a simple arc between elements. So what you can do with the arcs, and it just adds that much more true OpenRoads ruling to it. So go simple arc, and we're going to go, the radius is 91. And that's kind of locked in there. And then you're not going to worry about the feature definition. You don't really have to, because when you complex it together, that's really when you worry about it. Just go ahead and just for the sake of having doing something, I'll do this. So then identify the first element, and that's here. And then the second element is here. And now it's kind of giving you, sometimes multiple solutions. So this is, then it has the radius 91. Go ahead and if you didn't type it in here, you could just use the keyboard and type it in here, and then go ahead and do that. And then trim extend, yes. I'm going to arrow down. I'm going to go, I want to trim ahead, extend both. Now these are already trimmed because you graphically did that, but if you write the rule, so now if we modify this radius, they will continue to trim extend. So I'm going to say trim extend both, and that should be done. So now if we look at this radius, and I change this radius to, say, 75. So now this trim and extend, and it's sort of expanded, match that. You could not do that with just bringing in all the little fragments. So what, if you really want to make it more intelligent, I would bring it all in like this, in these pieces, and then I would really go ahead and delete out the curves and replace the curves in there by trimming with the radius. So now this thing is, you could change it back to 91. And it will automatically be trimming. So again, if you have the option here to go ahead and modify this, it's going to keep this thing trimmed. So that's where you get that a lot of stronger editing capability. I'm just undo that. So this should be back to 91. Now, once you've got to this kind of laid out, then, and the way the geometry is, it's like using the inroads uh, geometry, the horizontal elements. These are all just fragments. But in inroads, it was always one continuous piece. But in OpenRoads, it's not. It's laying out these fragments, but they're really separate pieces of geometry. This has its own stationing. It's really a separate alignment. If we kind of looked at the OpenRoads model, you would end up seeing in here all these pieces. These are all separate pieces of geometry with their own stationing, start and beginning. So now we want to create this as a single alignment. The way you do that is complex geometry. So we're going to do complex by element. Complex by element is what literally, basically it's an OpenRoads chain command, but it retains the intelligence. So we're going to do complex by element, and we'll do it automatic. And there's just this gap that I usually leave this thing go. It's that gap is fine. And this is where you really do want to give it a feature definition, because it's going to create this complex element. That's the one that you're going to be really working with. The other ones, all the pieces are sort of now behind the curtain. You know, they're just used for the rules. So this one, we want to make this, a back curb. And you could give it some sort of name there, median, island, you know, east, or something like that if you wanted to. Now, when you're doing this, especially the automatic, you could do manual and then just pick each one. Automatic is, you know, obviously is good in some instances. So you just have to pick and go, okay, well, where do you want it to start, and then which direction you want it to kind of automatically look in. I'm just going to start here and just go that direction with the arrow. So just pick that and then accept that complex. And then right click, escape, get out of that. So now this is one complex piece of geometry. Okay. So this is OpenRoads geometry now. Now this is OpenRoads. Now the in your reference file, or in your original drawing here, you have well, I'll just say this is the flow line here. That's looks like it's 1 foot, 1 foot off. So instead of bringing that in as well, this is where you want to start thinking about the rules. Well, you want this to be 1 foot from here, just in case you wanted, if you wanted to make any modifications, you made a modification to this, this would automatically retain its 1 foot relationship to whatever you did here. You change this curve or this radius to 100, then this maintains its 1 foot dimension from that. So this is built from this. So let's just kind of, again, this is where you have to kind of think of, okay, what do I want to construct as the base geometry or the core control geometry, and then what geometry gets built off of that. So once you have this this here, you'll go to, again, geometry, and single offset entire element. So we're just going to do a single offset. It's 1 foot from that back. We're going to lay out the flow line. So single offset entire element. And this we'll use offset of 1, and feature definition, we'll call this the flow line, and pick it. And data point, you're always watching the heads up prompts, follow the heads up prompts. Even though it's in the dialog, you gotta like acknowledge it, you gotta accept it or enter it, register it with a data point. And then you want to mirror it so that it's doing both sides. No, arrow down is just cycles, yes, no. And then data point to say, no, I don't. And that is it. So now let's right click to get out of this. And now you have this flow line. And look at the properties. It's a single offset 1 foot from the beginning to end. And it's the flow line. So now this is then based off of 1 foot dimension from here, the whole way around that. So this is where you could go ahead and change this. You wanted it to be, you know, 18 inches or something. You wanted it to be the, you know, the lip of the gutter, a different kind of gutter or something. So this is just a first starting point here, looking at how to take graphics and kind of build them into the geometry. So that's one step. I'm going to end this off here, and then I'll kind of pick another area and you know, and show you another tool.